Hello, everybody. I'm River from the Portland City Gym. Today, we're going to be doing a post-rotation deck tier list, so different archetypes. We're going to be ranking them on a tier list because tier lists are pretty neat. I like tier lists a lot. Now, I will say that this whole tier list thing was not actually my idea. It was Little Dark Fury over on Twitter. He posted like, "Hey, I'm gonna be doing a post rotation tier list of Team Up through Darkness Ablaze or Team Up Onward." And he said he was just gonna do a tier list of all the decks. He said that it was on his Patreon first, but I'm not doing that. I am just uploading it straight to YouTube. However, our opinions differ, so yeah. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now I don't know if he made this list or not, or made this whole spread, like added in all these different decks. I'm assuming he did because it has things like Flygon GX, Beheeyem. It has what else here? It has Chandelure, Luxray. So yeah, I'm assuming he did make this because it has just the right amount of memeage that he's known for. But yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm going to be kind of going a little bit faster. ADP Spiritomb, niche. I think it's a pretty tier 3 deck. It just isn't that good. I mean, it loses Rainbow Energy. Pretty much any Spiritomb deck just gets worse. They can also get better, but they can also get a lot worse. ADP Zacian, tier 1 in BDIF. Tier 1 for now, but depending on how things go. The new Blaziken memes. That's a meme deck. That's not a... Stage 2s aren't that good. Its attack isn't that good. It's part fighting type, which might be the only thing it has going for it. Because like it has the ability where it's both fire and fighting. But it having that fighting typing, just it's the only thing it has going for it. It's a one prizer, but its attack is extremely mediocre. It's a stage 2, so it's clunky. I don't know, but that's my opinion on it. Definitely a meme. Boltund, I feel like that's a tier 2. Hold on, sorry. Sometimes it's a little slow. Okay, there you go. Okay, I think Boltund's a solid tier 2. Boltund's always been pretty fun, you know? Just pile on a bunch of different electric energy and just start rolling. However, it does lose Electro Power and Thunder Mountain, like all Lightning decks do. So, yeah. So, but I feel like with things like Turbo Patch and Tapu Koko Prism Star, I think it'll fare just fine. Centiskorch VMAX, that is a solid tier 1 if I've ever seen one. Centiskorch VMAX, it, for those who don't know what it does, where have you been? 2 colorless energy does 40 damage, and it does 40 more for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. And then when you use that attack, you put 1 fire energy from your discard pile attached to that. So no matter what happens next turn, it's doing an extra 40 damage. Easily, it can 2-shot, and also kind of easily, but a little bit more difficult, it can 1-shot everything in the game. Charizard VMAX. Really? Charizard VMAX just really... There's just so many better fire Pokemon to play. Yeah. It's a pretty basic opinion, I know, but that's as far as the opinion goes, you know? It's just, there's so many better fire Pokemon to play. And it's a standard, whoa, I'm going to do a whole bunch of damage. But the damage at this point isn't enough. It's not hitting VMAX numbers. Of course, there are great damage modifiers. There are Galarian Zigzagoon with Scoop Up Net, Vitality Band. Great damage modifiers. However, I feel like that's going through too much trouble when you can play something like Baby Blounce or Centiskorch. Decidueye, I feel like it has a lot of counters, but it could be fun. You know, also I like the spread concept. Aggro, it keeps a lot of it. I mean, it loses in netball, which is rather unfortunate, but I feel like that's not going to be a huge deal. I feel like it could still retain the spot in Tier 2 to Tier 1. You know, a solid deck, you know. Okay. Baby Blounds. Blounds is an interesting one because it loses Fiery Flint, I'm pretty sure. Is what it loses. It loses Blacephalon GX as well. I feel like it's. I still feel like it has a lot. You know, you have the basic energy retrievals, all that stuff. I feel like it could still be pretty good. I feel like it'll still be pretty pretty Tier 1. So let's just wait for that to load in. Usually my computer's faster than this. Strange. There we go. Next up is Wheezing Spread. Wheezing Spread, I think, gets a little bit worse. There are just so many better cards and stuff. Oh, wait. Spiritomb. Just regular Quad Spiritomb. I think it goes back down to Tier 3. It had its time in the spotlight, but it loses Rainbow Energy, which is really unfortunate. Losing Rainbow Energy means that you have to wait an extra turn, and that's rather sad. But, and it also loses Hustle Belt. That's another thing that it loses, which is pretty important. Yeah, I think Tier 3 is a good place to put it. Yeah, Tier 3, 100%. And it's kind of the same thing with Wheezing. I mean, it still has things it can knock out. The format's pretty diverse at the moment, you know, but they're pretty much all just high HP Pokemon. I mean, it gets past things like Galarian Obstagoon, which can be nice in some situations. But other than that, I mean, everything else is just so high HP, and spread just isn't really going to be that good. I mean, Jirachi, just the Stellar Wish Jirachi, it's being played less and less, and that was Weezing's like main thing, you know, like, oh, I can target Jirachis, but it's not really doing that since Dragapult just does a better job, and Weezing just doesn't hit good enough numbers. So yeah, Weezing is a C for me. Whimsicott. Whimsicott's a weird one. So I actually made a post-rotation list on it. I feel like it could be pretty good. I don't think Tier 1. It definitely doesn't belong in Tier 1, but it definitely doesn't belong in Tier 3. I'm thinking Tier 2, but based on what I put in Tier 2, yeah, Tier 2. I feel like Whimsicott gets pretty good, you know? You guys can battle me all you want, but really, its tier is decided on your luck. And if it's just base 50-50, I feel like it should go 50-50 on the tier list. Spirit Burner Chandelure. That's definitely a meme. That is a meme deck. It's not a bad deck. It's just a meme deck. Aerodactyl. It's okay. Definitely won't say it's great. I'll put it Tier 3. Garchomp Giratina. So I don't think Garchomp Giratina. I don't even think that's a deck at the moment. I mean, Dragon types kind of just got kicked to the curb, you know. I mean, except unless you're ADP. If you're ADP, that doesn't count. But most of Garchomp Giratina pretty much just got kicked to the curb. I mean, Psychic Fighting, this is kind of an annoying energy cost to pay. But I don't really think it's a meme. Tier 3 as well. Blast Pup. I like this deck. I liked it a lot. Mallow and Lana. There's Great Potion. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we keep Great Potion. There's I mean, we got the new we got the new, what's it called, Moo Moo Cheese or whatever, which can heal 30. It's a really cool concept, and I feel like it has some potential. So I'll give Blast Pup a tier 2. Okay. Excadrill. Excadrill's kind of it's strange because it has a lot of cool partners. Ross from the PTCG Radio, he paired it with Spiritomb, and I thought that was a really cool idea. Just being able to use Rainbow Energy to use them both as attackers, plus building up its spite or putting up damage counters. Excadrill on its own, I don't really think is that great. However, it has a lot of partners, which is why I'm going to say tier 2. Okay. Now I don't know what it means by Ninetentations, Ninetales. I assume it means Firebox, because Ninetales is kind of like the poster boy of Firebox or Welterbox. Welterbox, a definite A. Any decent fire type card is it's pretty much an A. Let's be honest here. Or at the tier 1, sorry. Lapras VMAX. Capacious Bucket, Training Court. It's just a little clunky. Tier 2. I feel like it's decent. Keldeo V, was that ever a deck? Let's be honest here. Was that ever a deck? Rogue/memes. Not once have I ever thought of Keldeo V as its own archetype. Maybe like a tech in Lapras VMAX so that you can make an 8-prize game, but never on its own. Sorry. Morpeko. Morpeko's an interesting one because, there are a ton of lightning type Pokemon, obviously. Vikavolt is one of them. Pikarom is the other. So, just a lot of different things. I feel like Morpeko, compared to those lightning types, is pretty okay. It's definitely not tier 1, but I feel like tier 3 is a little too harsh, so I'm going to give it tier 2. Alright. Stonjourner VMAX, that's a C. I feel like Blast Pup just does its job better. Water has more support right now. And I mean, yeah. I just feel like Stonjourner just gets outclassed by Blast Pup. Galarian Obstagoon, I think that's tier 3. Because VMAXs are getting more and more popular, obviously, so there are less and less basic Pokemon. I mean, just look at this tier list right now. I guess ADPization is our basics, right? Centiskorch, Evolution, Blounce, I guess, is a basic. Welterbox is mostly basics. But then you go into more some of the more commonly played decks. Bolton's a basic, but Decidueye is an evolution. You could actually attack with the Rillaboom in Aggro, so that doesn't really work. Whimsicott doesn't really work. Blast Puppet works. Excadrill doesn't really work. VMAX, Lapras just doesn't really work. Morpeko doesn't really work. Charizard, Weezing, Aerodactyl. Yeah, that is Aerodactyl is a stage 1, so that doesn't work. Stonjourner doesn't work. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that doesn't work. There is some stuff, of course. Obviously, Zacian ADP has a tough time, but honestly, I feel like just on average, when you go into a match, you're probably gonna have a mildly tough time. Snorlax VMAX, feel like it's more of a meme deck. With triple acceleration energy, it's not that bad, but there's really no way to get the triple acceleration energy back in this format. Of course, in expanded, we have special charge, and of course, in expanded, Snorlax VMAX is definitely a different story, but I feel like in standard, it's just not that great. Cinderace VMAX, tier 2. It's okay. Most, pretty much all the starters are pretty okay, you know. Milotic, with all the heavy, retreat costs, sorry, with all of the heavy retreat costs, you know, Centiskorch, I'm pretty sure has 2, ADP has 3, Zacian has 2, Boltund also has 2, Eggrow has 3, Blastpup I'm pretty sure has 3, Stonjourner I think has 3 or 4, can't really remember, but there are some heavy retreat costs out there. I don't think it's really like tier 1, actually. I'm going to be optimistic here and give it a tier 1, but Milotic is one of those decks that haven't really seen that much play. And also, there's just so many mediocre ways you can play it, too. Welder, okay. Frostmoth, okay. Once we find the right thing for it, it definitely will be tier 1. So, nothing in the best deck in the format tier yet, in my opinion. We'll get to that. We'll get there. We'll get there. I promise. Inteleon, I think will be tier 1. Inteleon Control, the snipe ability, it just gets really, really strong. And I know how I said that spread doesn't really work because of all the high HPs, but I feel like Inteleon is a little bit different because it doesn't really like spread like 10 everywhere. It puts 60 damage somewhere. And I think that's what makes it good. Luxray, it's not even good anymore. It's really not. It's not good. I wish there was a it's not good anymore tier, because that's where I'd put Luxray. Raid does 30 plus, what was it, like 130 more? Something like that. It does like 160 if you evolved it. It's just not good. There's no Electro Power, there's no Thunder Mountain, and we lose the Disconnect Luxio. So we can't really like disconnect to soften things up. And then Raid, evolve Raid for the knockout. We can't really do that because Disconnect Luxio is gone. We do have the top entry Luxio, which is decent, but Raid just isn't a good enough attack. Toxtricity VMAX. I think it's going to remain tier 2. It's an okay deck. Dragapult. I think it's going to remain tier 1. Honestly, I feel like worse comes to worse, they have to waste an extra attachment for the weakness guard energy. Play they don't go, or they pray they don't go against a dark deck. It's just really as simple as that. Sandaconda V, tier 3. It's just okay. It's just okay. There's really nothing that good about it. Flings, on the other hand, I think is kind of decent. I think it's better than Sandaconda. Malamar VMAX, tier 3. I mean, Max Jammer's actually kind of decent. 2 or 3. I'll give it 3 for now. Copperajah VMAX. Now, there's a deck that hasn't been talked about since its release. 3. I gotta go with 3 on this one. I mean, you're just not good. You know, like, Fire's just so popular that no one wants to play you. Here we go. Alright. First, best deck in the format. Bam. I'm sure nobody was surprised that I did that. Right? Yeah. Then, Welder Mewtwo. I don't think it's going to be the best. Far from, actually. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be very, very okay. I think it sets comfortably at tier 1. Reshizard. Reshizard, I think, is on the same level as Mewtwo. Because honestly, you could really say that Reshizard is just, Mewtwo, except it doesn't play Mewtwo. Like, that's really the only difference. Sure, you could say, oh, but it focuses on Reshizard. No. Okay, do you play Heatrans? Do you play, like, all these different powerful Fire-type Pokemon? Do you play Ninetales? Sorry, you're Welderbox. Okay? And if we're really trying to argue Welderbox here, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Welderbox is superior to Reshizard, because Welderbox is just Reshizard, but with more tools, and that's it. It's honestly, I feel like next to Welderbox, Reshizard as its own archetype is kind of worthless, when the other one's just so superior. Gengar, Gengar, Mimikyu, Omastar Lock. Now, I love this deck. It's definitely one of my favorite decks at the moment. I mean, it doesn't lose really anything. I mean, yeah, it really doesn't. I feel like that's an A. I mean, a tier 1. You know, it's a good attack. I mean, it's a good deck. Green's ADP. That was a deck. Again, my mind's just getting blown here. That's a deck. As long as Green's Pikarom, like what? Green Zard, what, bro? ADP Greens. Honestly, I feel like most of these are just memes, man. What? I feel like that's definitely a good deck, but I feel like you should just pair it with something else. Maybe like ADP Milotic? You know, ADP Inteleon? Nah, that's a bad idea, but ADP Milotic, I feel like can actually be pretty good. But ADP as it on its own is a pretty okay card. Ultimate Ray, 150, 180 if you used Altered Creation. 180, put 3 basic energy on one of your Pokemon. Okay, I guess. It's like I said, it doesn't sound like a bad deck, but I just feel like it's more of a meme than it is an actual archetype. Same thing kind of goes with Pikarom, you know? Like, of course, anything that's rogue or meme could be strong, but just like just the concept of it is kind of just memey. But Pikarom, Green's Pikarom, it's tier 2. Yeah, I think you rest comfortably. Tier 2. I want to put Flings back. Or, no, whatever. Alright. Green Zard. No. Nope. Sorry. You don't work. There's just so many abilities that fire types have, and when you're not able to utilize them, no, you're also losing Heat Factory. That's something important to note. We're losing Heat Factory. And of course, you'd be able to search that out with greens, but no. And also, that's your supporter for turn, so you can't play Welder. It's just slower. It's inconsistent, and you can't play anything with abilities, which locks off things such as the 9 Temptations. Ninetales locks off things like Heatran GX. I mean, of course, you could play those, but I mean, once you play them, there's no greening anymore. And then what? You know, you have no Jirachis, and you're basically stuck for the rest of the game. I don't really like Green's builds too much. There are a few that I quite enjoy, but Grimmsnarl VMAX. What does that card even do? I forget what this card does, so I'll come back to that and probably Google it later. Zacian Melmetal. I feel like that's actually it could be tier 1. From the unofficial Japanese internationals, Zacian Melmetal, Lucario Melmetal actually did place top 16. So definitely between tier 1 and tier 2. Pretty impartial to it. Mad Party. Mad Mother Party. I'm really excited for Mad Party. I feel like it's going to be really, really good. I feel like tier 1. Honestly, maybe I should probably clean out this list. This is going to be a long video. How much time are we at? 25? Yeah, it's going to be long. Um, actually, let's move Zard down to tier, or no, just normal Reshizard down to tier 2. And Dragapult down to tier 2. I feel like Dragapult's weak to too much. Alright, now that looks a little better. Rillaboom VMAX 3. It's okay. Salamence VMAX, I don't think it's tier 1, but 2. I'll give it a solid 2. Pikarom, just good old Pikarom, 2. That's a 2. That's a solid 2 as well. Mewtwo ADP 3. Just because we lose Rainbow Energy, obviously, so that kind of limits your options to Steel and Water type, Steel and Water type Pokemon to copy with perfection. I just feel like that'd be a little bit too clunky if you wanted to do otherwise. You know, just playing 4 copies of Aurora really isn't enough. The 4 Rainbow really expanded your options, made it easier to make to use Altered Creation and to copy to copy Pokemon's attacks in the discard. However, this is not that good anymore. You know, it's just well, not anymore. I barely knew that deck existed, but it's just not good. Vikavolt V, haha. Seismitoad, how's it going? Oh, and best deck, yeah, same as always. It seems. Zacian, Zamazenta. I think that's tier 1. With the popularity of VMAXs, this deck just keeps on getting better and better, man. Dark Box. Woo! Dark Box. Tier 2. Flygon. Really? Flygon. Tier 3. Well, actually, no, that's more of a meme than anything. A workable meme, of course, kind of like ADP Greens. Well, in Persian. Sand/spread meme. That's a meme, dude. I'm sorry. Incineroar GX. Meme. It always has been. Reshiram. Now, people have kind of been sleeping on this deck, and that's not really fair, because this deck's actually pretty decent, you know. It can have kind of a slow start, you know, I can see that. But, I mean, really, though, like, attach return, right? Well, first you'd have to have a free retreater in the active, but, attach return, attach a fire energy, right? And then use Tapu Koko Prism Star, attach another energy, and then attach an energy to another one. And then Welder on an extra 2 energy onto the bench. And then bam, you're automatically hitting 180 on the first turn. That can knock out some Vs, actually. That can knock out things like Morpeko, which I did place in tier... I put that in tier 2, right? Yeah, I did. Morpeko's tier 2. So, I feel like it has a place in tier 1. People always said, like, oh, it's going to be great, it's going to be great, it's going to be the best deck, but then it never became the best deck. Well, Reshiram, post-format, now's your time to show us that you are best deck material. Behem, 100% meme. Oops. 100% meme. Cinccino, tier 1. Mill is busted. Rhyperior, this was a deck idea. I'm sorry. If there was a trash chair, that's where I'd put it. Same thing with Houndoom V. I think Houndoom V is kind of a throwaway V. Scizor VMAX, tier 3. And I'm pretty sure that's the Hydreigon with Powerful Squall. It's just a worse version of Dark Box, tier 3. And the Grimmsnarl, I don't actually know what that does, and I don't want to Google it in the middle of the video. However, in the comments, or description or comments, I don't know which one, I will put which tier I would put it if I knew what it does in this video. But anyway, this is my post-rotation deck tier list. Again, credit to Little Dark Fury for making this tier list. I'm pretty sure he made it, at least. I'm not very sure. But, yeah. So, definitely a thanks to him. Maybe I'll leave a link to his channel. Maybe I won't. I probably won't, just because Future Me is kind of dumb. But, yeah. So, yeah, definitely credit to him. Remember, this is always my opinion. Definitely leave your constructive criticism down below. And yeah, like I said, Grimmsnarl's ranking will be in the comments, because I don't know what it does. But I will Google what it does, don't worry. And like always, this is River from the Portland City Gym, signing out.